Star Report. I'm your host, Star. Welcome to the show. Folks, it is Sunday evening. I want to have a conversation about Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy, a very popular blogger, YouTuber. Many of you should know him from the Afrika Bambaataa story that I broke back in 2016. This morning at the Bronx River Houses in the Bronx, New York, Hassan was streaming live and he filmed himself. He was in pain. And he was talking about the Cassie and Diddy settlement, which I assume was at the root of his, issue right now in present time. Let me also say respectfully, I don't watch Hassan Campbell that often on YouTube because I feel that he's damaged, and that's not to take a shot at him. He and I have a history together. I haven't spoken to him in years, but I did send him an email about a year or so ago, an email of support, reminding him that he is the bravest man in hip hop. I gave him a plaque back in 2017 at a fundraiser that I was having, and I support him. Long story short, with regards to him coming out, he was the very first person to post a video on Facebook and tell his truth. He was molested. Many people confirmed that to me. Many people that I knew from the 80s, from the Zulu Nation, they were, regretful to open up, but they knew that I was, a person who goes hard when I, do stories and journalism and things of that nature. And I want to focus on the topic of molestation. However, if you guys want to call in and be objective, if he has been doing too much on YouTube, and I tend to believe that he has with regards to saying things about other people, maybe, causing hurt and pain, call in. Voice your opinions. But with regards to the topic of molestation, please know that I have a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. I do work with a certain type of clientele. I have different people that look to me for privacy. So I'm not going to sit here and clown anybody that has been molested. Hassan Campbell was indeed molested. And also, let me just say this with regards to the story of Afrika Bambaataa. This story is not just the journey of one person or even two. Multiple people accused Afrika Bambaataa over a period of months. And I interviewed all of those people. They came to Star, and I, gave them my word that I would be, respectful with regards to those interviews. And you can see most of those interviews on a YouTube channel called Hip Hop on Trial. They had millions of views on one of my main channels, but we put them on private and shifted them for different reasons. We can talk about that later, okay? All right, phone lines are open. Also, my showrunner is Deion Sanders in over his head. Coach Deion Sanders, a.k.a. Primetime, a.k.a. Neon Deion Sanders. The team that he coaches, the Colorado Buffaloes, as many of you should know, they have been eliminated from any bowl games, any college bowl games. Were they just a flash in the pan? And I'm going to ask the question, as I have on the screen, is Deion Sanders in over his head? Because, what bothers me is the flashy, fly, jiggy stuff, the jewelry, the boasting, and, his son, who he loves, I'm sure, who's a very, very good quarterback, but, holding up the watch and all that. To me, that's monkey shit. I don't want to see that. Deion is highly intelligent. He's a Hall of Fame athlete, not just football, but baseball as well. And I think at this stage of his life, at his age, he should not be so just, outward with the jewelry and all the diamonds. It's too much for me. So I am asking the question, is he in over his head with regards to coaching the Colorado Buffaloes? Eliminated. And he said himself, hold on a second. It's not just me saying this. He said this is the toughest stretch of probably my life, okay? That's what he told the reporters with regards to the loss that they just suffered, and by way of being eliminated, okay? All right. Hassan Campbell, again, this morning, Bronx River Houses, he was streaming live, and, he was just on one. He was going on about Cassie and how he's seeing people supporting Cassie and the settlement within less than 24 hours with Diddy, in case you didn't catch that one. But here's the thing, for those who don't know, Hassan wasn't talking about suing Afrika Bambaataa out the gate. He was not. He was just expressing his pain. He did say that he loves Bambaataa. It's a very layered, a very deep tragedy in not just hip hop, but in urban culture. What happened to him? So when I say I don't watch his show because I think he's damaged, it's not to be malicious or mean-spirited. He says things, then he cries, then he retracts them, then he admits to trolling, and he says things about other content creators, very vile, vicious things. So it's a bit much for some people. You're welcome to call in tonight to voice your opinion, but at the same time, just be mindful that I have clients, I have people that look to me with regards to shootings and molestation and closure if possible. So I'm not going to, just go off on a laughing, silly end with regards to the story. I do want to say one thing, though, and this might sound a little bit silly. For those who saw the video with Hassan Campbell this morning or this afternoon, salute to niggas in the projects who still throw bottles out of windows. Salute the niggas who still throw bottles at people, either in front of the building or in a courtyard because they're doing too much. We up here resting, we watching TV, we doing whatever. We getting high, and you down here with the bullshit. Pow! Troll babies, good evening. Good evening. Anybody know what I'm talking about? If you're from that project life, you already know it. I've known people over the decades who keep bottles literally in their apartments just to do that. Out the window. Bang. Oh my God, that's the only thing I want to say. But let's keep it, let's keep it serious for the most part, okay? All right, and there's some other notes here I want to make reference to Hassan Campbell. And my main concern when I heard this morning, because again, people were emailing me, a few people text me, my main concern, is he okay? Because they were saying he was shot. Troll babies, was he shot? Is this a clout move? He's been doing some things by way of clout chasing. I'm not mad at that. We're all clout chasing to some degree, all right? I also got a text message saying that he's in the hospital. He's okay. Did he get surgery? Okay, I don't know. Okay. Deeds, can you keep me up to speed if there's any new developments with regards to Hassan Campbell? And the video, in case you did not see it, pardon me, because everyone hasn't, he was driving. It looked like he was driving himself to the hospital. Someone was in the passenger seat. Anybody have the name of the guy who was driving? Has he gone live? Has anyone given us more context to this tragedy, this story? Hassan Campbell had a meltdown over the fact that Cassie and Diddy settled very, very quickly. Let me also say this in case you don't know. It was in 2021, somewhere in July, that journalist Layla Wills was trying to assist Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy, with legal representation to possibly sue Bambaataa. Layla may or may not call in. I reached out to her earlier. Layla is the person who was working on a documentary. She spent a lot of her own personal money. She's not tripping off the money she spent. She believed in the project. And you can go to her YouTube channel to see the interviews that she did. She came to me and back when I was, interviewing people, back in 2016, I gave her my notes, and she put all this together. Layla is also from Chicago and New York, for those who don't know, because I've seen people over the years try to say she's just out of Chicago. No, Layla lived in New York, I think maybe close to 15 years. She's been working in television and other radio, other record companies and things of that. So she's very seasoned, and this was a project of passion, with regards to documenting the allegations and the current lawsuit against Afrika Bambaataa, for those who don't know, okay? Let's go to the phone lines, folks. It's Sunday evening. Area code 312 is that Layla Wills tapping in, journalist who put together everything with regards to the story. Hey, Layla.
Hey, thank you for having this topic. So here, it's a few things. So you, of all people, know how draining this whole, as you say, debacle has been, right, since 2016. Now, 2016 is key because it was the year before the Me Too movement, okay?
Right.
And one thing that has challenged this entire story is the fact that these were young Black and brown boys from the project.
Layla, can I ask you to come a little closer to the phone, just a little closer, because it sounds like you're in a wind tunnel or something. Layla?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me take
Give her a second, guys.
Okay. Is that better?
There you go. Layla Wills. Good evening.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that when the Me Too movement started, and then it was about actresses, right? And even the Me Too movement was started by this Black woman, but then, it became about these actresses. There were stories about boys like Sandusky, and now we have the Boy Scouts, and of course the Catholic Church. I guess my main point is how draining this whole thing is for us who weren't directly affected by what allegedly Bambaataa did.
Right.
So Hassan and others, because like you said, it's not just about Hassan, but he did put the gas in this whole story, And so when I talked to the guys about an attorney and the Child Victim Act look-back window and all of that, it was many of them who were willing, and even Hassan at that point was going to, he did actually meet with an attorney and everything else.
Oh, he did?
And it just so happened, he met with an attorney, and it just so happens that the attorney I recommended for him was also already the other person was already seeing that attorney, and the attorney dropped both of them.
The politician. The politician, because
the politician.
Yeah. Never mind that little nickname from the 80s. A politician approached me.
Yeah.
And I'll get to him a little bit later, but go ahead. Yeah. So the two of them had legal representation. Go ahead.
The two of them sought legal representation. They did both sign retainers, and shortly thereafter, there's so many layers to this, but shortly thereafter, they both got dropped. And I would say it is because the politician did not, when you have an attorney that, the attorneys get paid when they win the case. You're not paying for an attorney up front. And so if the attorney asks you for something and documentation and paperwork, it's a rigorous process. And that guy, from what I understand, was not promptly returning things that the lawyer was asking for. And the lawyer at every single moment has to measure their risk and their likelihood of winning the case based on these people who are going to be their star witnesses. And so for whatever reason, that guy got dropped, and then because it was the same firm, they also dropped Hassan. But we still did. This was 1 month before the look-back window was going to expire. It expired August 14, 2021.
Okay.
So we did, but because John Doe came out. We did, and I say we because a lot of people, not just me and you, also and other survivors and survivors who didn't come out at all, but who were all willing to testify in court. So everybody's rooting John Doe on. So we did get one lawsuit out of this whole case.
Debacle.
And just a quick debacle.
If I can jump in.
A quick update.
If I can jump in for a second, Layla. So with regards to Hassan now, is he okay? Because I was trying to get some updates on his situation. I'm not sure if he was shot. I'm not trying to make light in any way, shape, or form if he was of his situation that happened at Bronx River. Have you heard anything? Is he okay? Was he indeed shot this morning?
Well, I'm kind of like I was at my desk doing year-end paperwork kind of thing, and so my phone started blowing up, and that's how I ended up hearing about it. So I'm kind of like everybody else and watching the videos and people breaking it down and doing it in slow motion. I'm kind of like that. So
gotcha.
I will. I haven't talked to him, and I'll try to give him a call probably tomorrow. I'm sure his phone is probably blowing up and everything. So I honestly don't know firsthand.
Okay, good. You were saying otherwise?
Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to give you just a quick, or the listeners, a quick update is that, John Doe's lawyer had filed and asked the judge for the default judgment because Afrika Bambaataa has not responded to this case at all. Right. And so it's just lingering there. But the attorney did just write another letter to the judge asking him for the judgment again. Right. So that's just where it stands. But a lot of people, I did see that Hassan, that part in the video where he was talking about Cassie. And one other quick note, Star, and
take your time.
Stop me anytime.
Take your time. Take your time.
I just wanted to say to the guys that the Child Victim Act look back window, because the Child Victim Act is still in effect, but there was a look back window for who the law doesn't affect anymore. So I just want you guys to know that the Adult Survivors Act, which is how Cassie was able to file this case, it expires coming in a few days, and that sprung from the Child Victim Act and Patrice Griffin and Gary Greenberg and a lot of the other survivors who were pushing this legislation. It's also how Drew Dixon just filed her case against L.A. Reid. So even though
good for her,
the guys,
good for Drew.
Yeah. So, but when it comes to male survivors, there's just this automatic, I think, bias out there where they are ridiculed and should have known better and are expected to be harder and more knowledgeable than younger girls were expected to be. So, I just try to tell everybody to hold your head, and it's draining. I'm drained. I think it has aged me a lot. I'm trying to close out a lot of stuff because it has been a rough road, and I'm not even one of the survivors. Right.
If I can also add this, Layla, because you and I over the years have been working on this, and you are an independent journalist. You came to me once upon a time. This was a project of passion for you. You didn't have any type of deals for cable. You spent your money. You interviewed TC Islam, who's now deceased, and a host of others. This was paying for a lot of people. So to some degree, I understand Hassan, having a meltdown as he did this morning, But now with regards to people at this point in time not necessarily feeling sorry for him or being upset with him, is there any merit to that with him over the years and the things that he has been saying about other people, most recently Gilly's son passing, or should that not be part of what's being discussed tonight?
I will, stay out of all of that because YouTube and the banter and the stuff that goes on is just a totally different animal than journalism and accountability and facts checking and a lot of other stuff. So I'll just stay, totally out of that one.
Okay.
But I do want to say, Star, from the very beginning, I just want to say thank you out loud. I thanked you before, but you did give me your notes. And we did just, we took it as far as we possibly could. And then John Doe is taking it further. And this is where it is. But I did spend my own money. And it's a lot of stuff that happened that I don't appreciate. Right. And one day I'm going to have a meltdown. Okay.
Hey, keep me posted. And if there's anything else that I should mention during tonight's broadcast, if you remember, just shoot me a text. Thank you for tapping in, Layla.
All right. Thanks, Star.
Thank you. Bye now. Okay.
Bye.
Layla Wills, the journalist who documented many people's stories with regards to the Afrika Bambaataa accusations, claims of molestation, and Hassan Campbell is one of those people, in case you're not fully in the loop. And again, he was the first person to post a video on Facebook. I ripped that file. I would not take it down after I interviewed a politician. And if you call in tonight, make sure you make reference to that person as a politician. Not that little, 80s street name. No, a grown-ass man. And I'm not going to kick his back in, but, he was the first person I interviewed. But he went off on his own, claiming he wouldn't stop until Bambaataa was arrested, and they did interviews with other people talking about he's suing Bambaataa. So I was like, well, damn, okay. So many people followed his lead. And I'll just leave it at that because, again, this story isn't about one or two people. It's about multiple men, grandfathers and fathers who came to me for interviews, all right? All right, going back to the phone lines in a second, let me just say, Micah got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Thank you so much, Mike. I want to stay on topic. Sir Shai got your donation. Sir Shai says, Dion will be fine. Bambaataa over Hassan Campbell. Damn. Why? Sosa got your donation. Stephanie from Memphis. I haven't spoke to Stephanie in a long time. Sosa, do you know Stephanie? I hope she's okay. Thank you for your support, Sosa. All right. Let's go to area code 760. Sunday evening, we're talking about Hassan Campbell. Turn that down in the background, please. Turn that down. In 5, 4. Okay, let's get him out of there. Folks, you cannot call me with music in the background. You just can't do it. Area code 614. Good evening. Are you up to speed? 614. Talking about Hassan Campbell. Yes.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you? Good evening.
Good. I'm not too familiar with Hassan Campbell, what he's saying. I kind of want to chime in on just Diddy and maybe why he's being persecuted. They're coming after him right now.
Well, we've already done that show, sir, 2 days ago. Did he settle with Did he settle with Cassie? Is there something else you want to add, or anything we didn't catch by way of the media?
Last year I think you did a show on it. He was saying like black people have to come together. He was talking about maybe starting a political party. Mm-hmm. He wanted to join forces with like a Byron Allen.
Right.
I don't know, when you make too much noise like that. I think T.I. sort of said something like that. There was like a letter he wrote about these big London families, European families that benefit off of slavery. Then next thing you know, he and his wife got hit with that like some sort of sex thing, or they're under the fire after that. So when you make too much noise, they kind of pull the file on you. And so I think, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. It's always different web of connections and stuff like that. So I just wanted to chime in and bring that up.
Well, hang on a second. I'm not saying there's not merit to what you're saying, but are you black? I'm going to profile you for a second. You black?
African.
Okay. You're black. Why is there always a conspiracy, with black people when something happens? Why didn't Diddy violate Cassie and she just filed a goddamn lawsuit? I've seen people saying, yo, Ciroc is behind all of this. Why doesn't Cassie get the credit for coming forward and saying, hey, this guy violated me, groomed me, and abused me? Why are you taking it into a different direction, respectfully?
Right. No, I think, no, that's fair, and I do agree. But I think, so he's under the gun for the Tupac. So Cassie's like, he's already under litigation, under a lot of fire scrutiny. He wants to keep the flame down on his name. So that angle I understand. But the Tupac, like, why do they bring it up after so many years? And then there's other stuff he's been sort of in the news about. Like, he randomly let go of all the people's masters. So I don't know. He's making a lot of moves. So I wanted to chime in that maybe there's
I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate what you're saying, but there's always this conspiracy Illuminati thing that seems to be put on the table. I'm going to give you the last word. I'm going to give you the last word, but hang on a second. Black people don't have any real power in this country. Let's keep it real.
Sure.
So Diddy he spoke about a political party. I remember when Diddy was talking about vote or die. So to your point, and I want you to finish up on your point. Don't let me, throw you for too much of a loop here. He's been talking that political stuff. Right. And black people have no power. Right. So who would give a goddamn about Diddy in politics? Go ahead.
No, that's fair, but I think maybe it's sort of a warning. It could be like also a warning message, or sort of. Okay. He's already crashing down, and then they kind of put the final shot in him, get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, he beat it because he settled, and
revolt. Go
ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Finish up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, what were we saying? Yeah. So, like, wasn't he coming after Viacom recently? He made some comments about, like, we don't get representation. Him, Byron Allen, they're shooing Time Warner. Yeah. Like,
I don't know, sir, but thank you.
Major players, sir. They can make moves,
sir.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. I don't want to go too far with Diddy. Then that's an old story at this point in time, guys. Hassan Campbell was in Bronx River Houses this morning. I'm not sure what time, guys, but if you want to call in, chime in. Is this a PR stunt gone wrong? I'm going to give him the attention he wants. Why not? Why not? If he's really bothered by the Cassie Diddy settlement, let me say he has nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely nothing. He was not talking about suing Bambaataa. Layla Wills just called in and broke it down about the timeline and, what was in front of them. Okay. Hold on a second. Is this? Florida Boy J, good evening, sir. Is that you? Area code 904. FBJ.
Nigga, it's Sunday night.
Come on.
And we got to talk about this. And this has been the week of bussy. This has been a bussathon, a bunch of bottom behavior from black men this week, and I hope we can put an end to this tonight. Like I said, we had Will Smith, then we had the Diddy, having his freak off. Now Hassan Campbell said, I got to get a piece of the bussy action, too. He went back to the hood. It was too much bussy going around, and he said, I got to tune it up and drop it, too. The bat signal's in the air. I got to drop it low. And I understand what niggas are saying. Like I said, you coming in at Gilly, at all these niggas. You claimed you was gonna sexually assault other YouTubers. A nigga. This, and that's one thing I don't want to do. With somebody like Mr. Campbell, we can't go back and forth. I'm about to take bussy. Now I'm getting my bussy took. Now I'm about to go take some bussy over the internet. We can't be doing that. Either you're a victim or you are another predator out here who is trying to inflict the same pain that was inflicted upon you willingly at a certain point in your life. We can't be sitting here trying to put kid gloves on a reckless beige nigga like Hassan Campbell, looked like he was under something allegedly, screaming in his phone on live in the hood, and rightfully so. Nigga should throw a bottle in your direction.
Damn.
Get your ass up out of here, nigga. It's Sunday morning. We late on the bills. Rent due. I'm about to get kicked out. And your high yellow ass in this bright ass orange outfit walking around here yelling about being in the hood and street. Nigga, that's why they had to put the blame on you, allegedly, because I don't think nothing happened to him either. This isn't Hassan's first time pulling YouTube stunts for that algorithm.
Okay, take a break, Florida Boy Jay. You were the first person who sent me the email early. I want to thank you for that because I looked at it and I said shot, and I said, "Whoa, is he okay?" But then I started thinking, and I called you about an hour later. Any word from him? Has he gone live? Anything on Instagram? Any word from Hassan Campbell?
No, Star. The only thing he got shot was with a butt plug, man, and he probably had to go to the hospital and get it took out. That's all that happened, Star. He got probably shot with some type of sexual object. Now he got to go to the hospital playing he got shot with a real gun. We know what time it is, man, and salute the niggas who tried to cover the story, tried to see what was going on. But if you know a nigga like Hassan Campbell, you know damn well it was too much bussy news in the algorithm, and he knows he's one of the poster childs for that. So he had to throw his bussy in the ring and see if he can get the algorithm twerking for his page. And salute to him for, shamelessly pulling stunts and junkie stunts, to get the algorithm boosted up. Streets need a body, Star.
Folks, as you can see, I'm letting people speak. This is the objective perspective. I because of my 501c3 and what it is that I do with victims and other people, I'm not just going to try and make this a fun topic. No, it's very sad. Any merit, in your opinion, to his pain, what he has gone through since childhood? I believe him. I gave him a plaque. Any concerns, or has he done too much, pardon me, Florida Boy J, to diminish people caring for him?
Yeah, to me, he has done way too much. When you threaten to sexually assault other men the way you claim you were sexually assaulted, you can no longer wear the jacket of a victim. You are now perpetrating the same predatory behavior that you're supposed to be speaking out against, you're supposed to be advocating for. I mean, I don't understand why he hasn't started a bussy walk for men who had their butts taken. I think he should have been an advocate for that, but instead he wants to cosplay as some street nigga, and nobody's buying that. First of all, you're light-skinned, then you gave up your bussy. Now you're running around here threatening to take other niggas' bussies.
Okay.
It's too much going on,
okay,
and I think he cannot be a victim.
Okay. Hey, man, before you go, Deion Sanders, the Colorado Buffaloes, eliminated from bowl games. A horrific loss. Deion himself has spoken up and said during a press conference that this is his worst, toughest stretch of probably my life. Your thoughts, Florida Boy J?
Man, I think Deion Sanders is, as much as I am a supporter of him, a Florida boy legend, I think he is unraveling in front of our own eyes. It started a few weeks ago when he started throwing the offensive line under the bus, talking about we're going to get new guys in. That's not going to galvanize these linemen to protect your son on the field. And you see, now his son is hurt. You cannot, when it's a times of trial, you need to band your squad together. You can't be acting like we got to throw certain people on the bus. And like somebody else, another caller said, once you have a father that has a star quarterback son coach, players always look to see if that coach is going to either have favoritism or talk crazy about certain players if they make his son look bad. And once that happens, playing football, so you play football too. You probably played for somebody who had their dad coaching. Once we see that your dad is either favoring you or throwing other players on the bus based off of their son's performance, the players start to tune out and check out, and I'm concerned that is what is taking place right now in Colorado.
Now, Shedeur Sanders left the game in the first half with multiple injuries, and he did not return. Is he okay, Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, he's going to be okay. It's not any season-ending injury, so it's nothing serious. But like I said before, Deion, they started hot. They ended horribly, and the last thing he needs to do is throw his offensive line, offensive coordinators, firing them. he needs to point the finger at himself at the end of the day for hyping this up, putting on the sunglasses, and doing a nigga wiggle, you know?
Okay. Hey, man, I appreciate you tapping in. When's the next video you're posting, or when's the next time you're going live, Florida Boy J?
Oh, yeah, me and J Dub, we going live tomorrow, Perspective Facts Podcast. I think we're doing episode 99, almost to 100. You know, the views are doing good. We halfway to 10,000 subscribers, and I just want to appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. Oh, and lastly, we're going to be reading comments in the community section from the best roast on the post, so I appreciate everybody. Nice. Sorry, you have a wonderful show.
Thank you, man. Yes, sir. Florida Boy J tapping in. All right, folks, earlier this morning, in case you're just now tuning in, Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy, went live on his YouTube channel, Hassan Campbell, and he was going on a tirade of sorts with regards to Cassie and Diddy and the settlement, and he was outright, accusing Bambaataa again of molesting multiple people in that project area, This is a meltdown, if you ask me. And I don't know if he was shot. He was in the vehicle. It was like a quick cut to the vehicle, Was that video re-uploaded? Now that I think about it, was it re-uploaded? Was he live and then he took it down and then spliced in the other part, or did it continue? Was something edited out? I mean, have we even thought about that? Who was the guy in the passenger seat? It's Sunday night. I've got time for the bullshit. This is Premium Black News. I've got time. Let me go to Cash App here. Dan, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Salute, Boss Hog. Okay, you're on 760. Let me see if I can get you in the queue, sir. Dan, you're up next. Sit tight. Okay. Lenny, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Oof. Mike says, Star, this ain't his first time with a thigh injury. Well, was he shot in the thigh, Mike? Where was he shot? Okay. If he was shot at all, okay. Houston, where are you? Are you calling in? If so, let me know what area code. I think you're 703. I'm not sure. Let's go to Dan. Thank you for your patience and your support. We're talking about Hassan Campbell. Dan, you up to speed? Dan, yes, no, maybe?
Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Dan.
Hello?
Dan, are you ready?
Hello?
Are you there? Dan, yes, no, maybe. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, I'm going to put him on hold. I got you in the queue. My phone is working great. I got a donation here from the boy. The boy says, Star, I am one of the male prostitutes discussed in Cassie's report. Will you take my interview? She forgot to discuss how we pegged Diddy together. Okay, send me an email. That was cute, all right? Danny, you ready? I got to go, Dan. Yes, no, maybe. Are you ready? Okay, he's doing too much. Thank you, Dan. I can't play around with your phone. Okay. Let me bring in area code 917. Good evening, 917. We're talking about Poppy up at Bronx River this morning. Are you there? 917.
Peace, Star. This is True Sincere, the 5% Nation.
Hey, man, how are you? Peace.
I'm doing well, brother. First of all, I just want to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, sir, but don't call me brother. You know that offends me. Please. Everything else we can discuss.
Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Go ahead, sir.
But I just want to give you your flowers, though. Of course, you know what I'm saying. But as far as Hassan Campbell is concerned, I mean, to be honest, he should worry about his overall health and mental health, and you know what I'm saying, and physical health. To be honest, I don't know why is he still acting like this at his age. He talks and criticizes Jim Jones about all the things that Jim Jones is doing at 45 years old, but yet he's still doing the same sort of antics and still participating in hood booger, crap, essentially. So basically, him putting his life in jeopardy and also his kid's life in jeopardy. To be honest, is like everything in life is cause and effect. You know what I'm saying? You get what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So
if we can keep the kids out of it, sir, I've met his beautiful daughters. I mean,
no, of course, no.
I did say I hope he has life insurance, but other than that, let's not go in that direction. Did you see the video?
No, of course.
Did you see the video?
Yes, I did.
Come on.
Yes, I did. To be honest, like I said before, just to stray away from, of course, that part of the conversation, I'm gonna say that, like I said, he just needs to get some help. That's just honestly what I could say about the brother. He's from the Bronx, just like I am. He's an older brother, you know, and I think that he just needs the right support system around him. You know what I'm saying? Honestly speaking.
Stay with me. And what you said sounds great. Sounds great. But let's get to the bullshit.
Absolutely.
Let's get to the bullshit.
Of course.
Out there in front of Bronx River. What was Bronx River completed in like 65, 66? I've studied a lot of those project houses because I used to go through there back in the 80s, allegedly, you know. Anyway,
yeah.
To be out there that time of morning, you know, Sunday, woofing and barking and screaming, people throwing bottles as opposed to busting shots, right? It could have been
right.
Paka, paka, paka. That's how they've given it up in that area for decades. Is he on a crash course? What you said sounds great. Support system, so on and so forth. But he's really traumatized. I'm saying that. He's damaged. Yes. Is he on a crash course mission? Go ahead.
To be honest, I mean, even his little tirade, even going on public platforms, bigger than, of course, the YouTube atmosphere. I mean, the way that he conducted himself, even on, I'm not gonna say the particular podcast, of course, just because, you know, I just don't want to, you know, stir up any controversy or anything. But he went on a particular, quote unquote, YouTube hip hop bloggers podcast.
So I have no problem with you mentioning other platforms. No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I respect you, and I respect you a lot. So
I
just don't want to bring that unnecessary attention because I know that you're bigger and better than a lot of them. Okay. I'm just letting go. I just wanted to
give us the name, sir. Let's get to the bullshit. Give us the name.
Yes, DJ Academics. You know, somebody that claims that he's a hip hop blogger, but he's truly not.
That's my guy, sir. He went on Academics. Walk us through it. I got time. Come on.
Yes. So basically, he's talking about, you know, when he went on the whole, you know, when he went on to the podcast platform with 6ix9ine, and he was talking about, you know, 6ix9ine's case, and then trying to like do his own analysis on 6ix9ine, but 6ix9ine actually checked him on a lot of his quote unquote gangster dispositions, or like pretty much like he tried to think that he could flip the script on 6ix9ine, but 6ix9ine actually flipped the script on him, and he was actually basically kissing 6ix9ine's ass, if anything, to be honest with you. And
hang on, stay with me. I'm in no rush. Now, was that the episode where Clayface was on there as well? Whack 100.
Correct. Yes.
I saw part of it, sir. I saw part of that. I'm with the bullshit tonight. Okay, he was in front of you know of the projects. You know, talking crazy. I don't know if he was on anything. I don't know. I've never heard of him doing any type of narcotic. Maybe he was just drinking, you know, pulled an all-nighter and said, nah.
Heavily drinking.
Well, we don't know. But good. You were saying about the Academics episode with 6ix9ine. Continue, please.
Yes, of course. So basically, just to stay linear on the topic, of course, it's just that ever since he went on the platform with DJ Academics, you kind of seen him trying to, you know, attach himself to certain big platforms, and then, you know, he knows that controversy controversy sells, or pretty much gains more notoriety on the YouTube algorithms and stuff. So he's continuing with his bullshit, stirring problems up with other YouTubers, and especially his numbers, according to what he says. But I'm not, you know, somebody that studies YouTube metrics as thoroughly. one would assume that because after he got on the Math Hoffa platform and then
Right.
he went on the academics platform, his numbers and his following was it surpassed what he originally had made before getting on the platform.
If I can jump in for a second, and I'm going to give you the last word. I did not watch Hassan Campbell on the Math Hoffa platform. I just...
Okay.
Again, man, I respect the guy, but I know that he's damaged.
Yeah.
I know that he says things, and I'm going to get to something that he said that is a total misrepresentation of the truth, but I'm going to say that after you finish. Go ahead, I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
Of course, no, of course. I'm striving to make sure that I'm just, staying back on topic.
Go ahead.
Just saying my last part. But really and truly, all I gotta say is that he just needs to stop focusing on what the YouTube community cares about his opinion, and he needs to worry about what his immediate circle cares and say about him and what they need. Okay. He needs just a better support system around him. He's nearly 50 years old, and he's still getting caught up in 20-year-old nigga shit.
Okay.
That's kind of crazy.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. You're supposed to be a role model for us young black men, especially coming from the Bronx. Because
I wouldn't say a role model, sir. His pain and his story is one of many depths. But I don't know if he should be put in the position of a role model. I don't know if he wants I don't know if he wants that responsibility. Yeah. To be fair, but thank you for your call.
Of course not.
Thank you for your call.
Absolutely. Thank you, Star.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Salute to that young man. Let me address something here because someone sent me a link a couple of years ago about Hassan, and I just remembered this with regards to misrepresentation of the truth. I never responded to this because, again, I know he's damaged, but he tried to say that I told him something about Vlad and the reason why we're not going, or I'm not putting him on Vlad TV. I forget how he phrased it. And I said, what? And at that point I said, this guy's just... he's saying any fucking thing. During the time when I interviewed Hassan Campbell back in 2016, we spoke on the phone. I recorded all the conversations. I saved all the text messages. That's what I do as a journalist. And Vlad is my guy, my homie. I don't know Hassan like that, and I didn't want to put what I perceived to be at that particular time a victim on Vlad TV, because Vlad was at that time allowing a lot of trolling going on. So I said to him, no, that's not the place for you right now. But I didn't say nothing to him negative about Vlad. That kind of threw me for a fucking loop, as if I'm going to, side with him against Vlad. No, you're a victim. You don't need to be on Vlad TV. Now, since that time, he went on to become a YouTuber, and that's a great thing. Tell your story. I believe your story. But don't try and fucking lie on me with regards to Vlad. I just want to make clarification on that, As if I said, nah, we ain't fucking with Vlad. Nah, it's not where you belong at that particular time. Rory, I got your donation. Maybe Rory's tapping in. Area code 347. Is that Rory? Rory, good evening, man. We're talking about Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy. Are you there? Rory.
Yo, Star, what's up?
Good to hear. What's going on? Good to hear from you. We spoke earlier, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come on.
Yo, can I say salute to Poppy, gangster? I don't know why everybody trying to play him over there tonight. Poppy's gangster, man. He went up to the projects, he went back to his projects, the place that violated him, the place that was the start of hip-hop, the place that was supposed to protect him as a community, and they all failed him, and they all knew what was going on, and now he's letting, and now the wolves have come home to roost, It don't matter he caught a little shot. So what? He caught a little bullet. If that's the case, he caught a little. He don't care about that. He's standing outside Bronx River Projects with his hands up in the air like what? Poppy comes from Bronx River Projects from the late 70s to the 2000s, right? And you think he's going to be scared and he's going to listen on the internet to these little chumps up in there telling him you can't come back to Bronx River. You know, when he lived there, it was real gangster. When he lived there, it was real gangster. Not like today, where half of the people living in there is illegal immigrants. No, it wasn't like that back then. It was crack city, heroin city, people getting smoked every day. So Hassan Campbell's not scared to go back where he comes from, man, if you're going to disrespect him, you know? And I don't...
Okay, let me jump in for a second, Rory. I hear what you're saying, and you're...
I'm rocking with Poppy, man.
I hear you. Hang on a second. But now, going back to the projects, that's great, but is it worth it? That's the question. He's got a family. He's got kids. Is it worth it? Do you go back? Do you go back?
Yeah, well, I don't have the same scars as him. That stuff never happened to me. If it did happen to me, yeah, I might go out like that. Maybe I might go out like that. Maybe I might come back with my AK-47 and take out 3 of those buildings because nobody said nothing when you knew what was going on. Maybe I might have that same kind of pain.
Okay.
You know, so maybe Poppy's ready to get it on and go to war with a lot of that community that was supposed to be his community, and nobody said anything because this guy had some money and influence, and Bronx River was getting a little bit of wreck off that name.
Right.
You know, so Poppy ain't scared of none of those dudes up there. You seen him? He was standing outside. You know, I don't get it. I don't know why everybody wants to make fun of him and talk about this gay stuff and gay this, gay that. Some of them gay dudes is the toughest dudes you ever want to meet. Some of them cats do not play. If you ever been to jail, and you ever been in different cities and mess around, dude, they will split you to the white meat. You know, it's not funny what was happening to Poppy. Poppy's going out like a gangster.
Right.
He's standing.
Now, hang on a second, Rory. I'm going to jump in because that has not been the tone of this discussion thus far. People are not just calling in to clown him. People do have some valid points. This is the objective perspective. I can appreciate what you're saying, but at the same time, I haven't been watching him. And I know he's been involved in a lot of YouTube unnecessary beef, clout chasing. I do remember going to his channel a couple of years ago when something happened with he and oh God, I'm forgetting exactly, but he admitted to clout chasing, and it kind of turned me off. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that he has done too much to turn people off? And now here he is clearly having a meltdown, and people have the right to say, "I'm not interested."
I'm enjoying the meltdown because I think it's a long time coming, and I think he's a real one.
Okay.
You know, like everybody says, I want to see a real one. I want to see, okay, well, dude pulled up after an all-nighter. You could tell he was binged out, whatever he was doing, and he went to Bronx River Projects. If you don't know, that's a place, if you want smoke, you're going to get smoke faster, sooner rather than later, especially if you're asking for it. So, no, Poppy's a gangster, man. You got to respect Poppy's gangster. I know he's crazy as hell, but how could you not be crazy as hell, all the things he went through? I believe the things that he went through. I believe him when he said all that stuff happened to him, you know?
Shannon, I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. No, Shannon, I'm not up to speed, but you can send me a link. What is my email address? It should be on the screen. Here it is, thehater1964@yahoo.com. Janelle, I got your donation. Janelle from Queens. Hey, boo, love you. Thank you, Janelle. I appreciate your support. Blade, what are you sending me, Blade? Okay, yeah, that's totally off topic, but thank you, Blade. And Blade, I responded to one of your emails earlier. I'm not sure if you saw that, okay? I just said copy. Okay. Phone lines are open, and I do want to remind you guys with regards to the showrunner Is Deion Sanders in over his head? I forgot to ask Florida Boy Jay, how long is his contract with Colorado? He has brought in millions of dollars for that school, for the area. So, hey, he's not going anywhere. I mean, as far as I can see. But is he in over his head as a coach? And didn't he bring in, is it Terrell Owens or Warren Sapp? Deeds, do you have a minute? Did Deion Sanders bring in Terrell Owens or I thought it was Warren Sapp. Maybe it was both of them. You go to area code. I was looking for someone who was on hold here for a while. Area code, let me try 313. Good evening, are you there? 313. Sunday night, we're talking about Hassan Campbell. 313.
Hey, yo, what up, dog? What up? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you? It's cracking.
What up, though, man? Hey, yo, man, I just got a call because I'm watching the sign just crash out. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of speechless. And, like, it's kind of, other callers kind of got there before me. He was, like, saying, like, he always say don't go back to the projects and what you're doing is lend them to the hellfire and all this dumb shit. Mm. But now you see you right back in the Bronx River or whatever, wherever it's called.
Bronx River.
And you get popped, allegedly. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm thrown. And your man, Florida Boy Jay, regardless of being light skinned or whatever, man, that ain't got nothing to do how a nigga rock. You know
I know.
So I know. That shit crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I let people speak, and I try not to interrupt, but he has a right to say what he wanted to say. So my focus, again, because of the work that I do behind the scenes with victims and other people, I can't clown Hassan's pain. His pain is real. And I don't know. Hang on a second. I don't know the depths of someone who has been, or is still being molested. Any knowledge in that area? Molestation.
I mean, no, I actually have no knowledge in that area besides, what I see from outside looking into different situations of that. Okay. But like, if you really painting, you ain't gotta talk about what's going on with Puffy and all that. Because first of all, his whole life, he was complaining about, I guess, what's going on with Puffy and Cassie and whatnot.
Cassie, yeah.
Like, man, stick to your pain, bro. Stick to your story. You know what I'm saying? If you really painting, dog, what's gonna happen is gonna happen, dog. And then like, then I heard he didn't want to press charges on homie and whatnot. I mean, like, bro, it's like he's doing it for clout now. Like, you don't need to bring Puffy into your story. Your story is your story. That story is that story. Keep it a bean. So I mean, even though I watch him and a couple of things to do say is on point. Today you go on to the project, a while out, people throwing bottles at you, and then like I don't know, there's a setup. It just seemed like too much, bro.
I appreciate the call, and I am letting people speak their piece. I'm not sure what to think here, whether it's a PR stunt, but just my personal involvement. He is dealing with a lot, and when I say he's damaged, that's not to be disrespectful. He's still dealing with the after effects. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish up.
Is he a father?
Say again.
Isn't he a father?
Yes.
I'm saying, so he always talk about how much he loves his daughters and love his kids, but and he say, don't let them trick you off the streets and blase split. What you doing? What you doing?
I appreciate the call. Thank you. Appreciate the call.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Deed says Warren Sapp and Terrell Owens are not a part of Deion's coaching staff. I thought they were. Deeds, no? Wow. Deeds also says that someone played a police scanner recording of the shooting at Bronx River on a Citizens app, confirming shots were fired around the time when Hassan was in the area. Okay, thank you, Deeds. And Deion's contract is 5 years with Colorado. Okay. When I asked the question, is he in over his head, not saying he can't turn it around, but I don't like the flashy, jiggy stuff. When I saw Shador, his son, with the watch thing, I just said, oh, God. But at the same time, he's a young man, so, you know, I guess we have to overlook that, you know? He's a college student. Lex Diamond's got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Yo, fam, you good? Supporting the machine. Lex, are you from Staten Island or Brooklyn? That's what, like, Staten Island or Brooklyn cats always say. Yo, fam, you good? I appreciate the support. I missed a few donations in the live chat. Thank you for your support. Guys, also at the top of the live chat is the PayPal link. And for the remainder of the month of November, I'm going to be doing half off on 30-day promo packages if you use the PayPal link, okay? Half off 30-day promotions if you use the PayPal link for payment, okay? All right, let me go back to the phones in a second, but first I want to acknowledge, is it Anwar? I got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. You know, I mean, I'm trying to stick to the facts, Anwar, of Hassan's pain and suffering. The facts. I've spoken to multiple people, in case you don't know, dating back to 2016, Zulu Nation elders, and maybe I should take a little time with this right now. People who I had great relationships with over the decades. During that time period in 2016 when I was interviewing people, a lot of those guys were calling me and I was reaching out to them, and we hadn't spoken in decades. And they were like, yo, Ali Kwan. They knew me as Ali Kwan back in the early to mid 80s. And, you know, they confirmed that he was, you know, underage and he was in the vicinity of Afrika Bambaataa. Other people were not confirmed. And then there were people who were truthful. Again, if you go to Hip Hop on Trial, that YouTube channel, there's 2 interviews where people admit to being of age and they just had gay sex with Bambaataa trying to get on. And let me just also say this. Most of the alleged victims don't know each other. So one person doesn't speak for all the victims. I've seen someone try to do that. I've seen someone try to say everybody was of age. That's a lie. Let me say that, okay? Let's go back to the phone lines here. Area code 757. Good evening. Late night talking about Hassan Campbell, allegedly shot. Are you up to speed? Area code 757.
Yeah, I'm up to speed. You hear me?
How are you, sir? Good evening. Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's good, dog? I just want to say it was good tapping into your show.
Thank you, man.
Bro, you've been doing it for decades, and I mean,
thank you.
I fucks with you.
Thank you.
Hassan Campbell is bugging, to be honest with you. You feel me? If you're going to be on the YouTube, stick to the YouTube. I don't think that, if I'm not mistaken, that's not the first time he went out there and they was wilding on him. You know, so I'm not really sure if they even like him out there at this point. And he's too contradicting. Like he said, don't let them trick you out your spot, but you want to go out there and bug out on a Sunday morning and scream in people's windows like ain't nobody got feelings out here. So, you know what I mean? He just needs to stay in his crib and just stay on the YouTube and all that. You know what I mean? Deion Sanders on that topic.
Well, hang on a second. Stay with me. Are you from the projects? Can I ask you that?
I am from the projects. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Coney Island.
Okay. Okay.
Used to live next to my up in Harlem and Washington Heights and all that.
Say again. Say again.
You was next door neighbors with my uncle back in the day up in Washington Heights and everything.
Okay. Okay. Is he accusing me of impersonating a federal agent? What are you saying?
Nah. He said yeah, I used to get it popping together. You was a good guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, hang on a second. Tell him I said salute.
I got you.
Now, the projects. I've been in and out of multiple projects in the New York tri-state area. There's no love in the projects.
There's no love.
When you move out, that's it, my nigga. All that coming back, yeah, nah, yo.
Listen.
I used to be up in here. They don't care about that, you know, and it's
facts. Once you gone, you gone.
Yo, you fooled if you come back and you wearing some nice shit, and you driving that fly shit, you're fooled. So I can understand, you know, as best I can. I've never experienced molestation. Him going back to the place of torment. He was tormented, man. No matter what people think about him, he was tormented, in my opinion, based upon people that I spoke to. Can we focus on that for a second? His pain.
Well, I respect that part about the situation of abuse. You get what I'm saying? Like, I totally respect that part. But then it's also that when you change your position in life, there's ways you got to handle things differently now. Mm-hmm. You can't be an advocate for peace and positivity, but then at the same token, you want to go wild out, talking about I got killers with me, I shoot everybody in these projects. You know what I mean? It's just confusing when you make statements like that. But I also understand that you're very, very hurt, and don't nobody care about you being hurt, because that's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you this question? You sound like a knowledgeable man from the projects. Should he have been more forceful in trying to sue Bambaataa? And there's a way that he still can sue. I'm not going to lay that out right here, but if I speak to him again, I may try to assist him. Do you think he should have been more forceful, or was his pain the bigger issue, in your opinion?
I think he should have been more forceful, being that who Afrika Bambaataa is. You get what I'm saying? You know, he could have went on all types of platforms and continuously spoke about the abuse that was suffered by Afrika Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if that's the main source of the pain, speak your truth and do whatever you need to do to make sure the world knows your truth.
Okay.
You know?
I appreciate the call.
Other than that,
appreciate the call.
If you want to wild out any other type of way, you can't go back on I'm Mr. Peaceful Guy, positivity, and spread nothing but love out here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the call. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Every time I hear somebody say, yo, my peoples knew you from the projects, I have to ask, you know, am I being accused of something? Oh my God. What a fuckwad I was back in the 80s. Just anyway, hang on a second, guys. Thank you for your support. I got a donation here from Bill. Bill says, I just tuned in, Star. Okay. Big tip of my fedora and thank you, man. Salute, big Bill. Thank you so much. Okay. And guys, on the screen is Deion Sanders in over his head. Let me make sure I'm promoting some of my other sponsors as well. YouTube.com/@ I Hate Everyone TV. I say again, @ I Hate Everyone TV on YouTube. Check them out. Tell them I sent you. All right, let me go back to somebody from Springfield, Maryland tapping in. Looks like area code 413. Late night, are you there? 413.
Yo, what's poppin', Star?
Hey, how are you, man? What's cracking?
Chillin', man. It's Panna.
Panna, what's up, man? Good to hear from you. Panna.
Glad to have you back, man. Glad to have you back.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I saw the video, the whole 25 minutes. And I mean, I don't think he's clout chasing. I think he went a little overboard with it. You know what I mean? He could have crashed out from his house. I didn't think he had to go to the projects and wake those people up that early in the morning. It's a Sunday, everybody chilling. And but like you said, man, we all don't know his trauma and his hurt. You know what I mean? What he went through is devastating. You know, it's life changing. This man will never be the same, and we're clearly seeing it by the way he behaves on social media, from him coming out to all the stuff that he did with Gilly and Wallow and whoever else. This is his way he responds to his trauma, I feel. You know what I mean? He takes it out on other people. But I'm no psychologist. This isn't like, I'm not professionally speaking, but he has to vent somehow. But, you know, I feel that at some point he needs to go after Bambaataa and get the bag. maybe that may bring some peace to his mind, because clearly he's upset at everybody giving Cassie attention, and I'm not even sure if he's upset at the monetary figure that she received from Diddy. But
if I can jump and stay with me, Panna, that's very important what you said. I don't know if it's even the money. I mean, again, I believe him. I gave him an award for coming out and telling not just his truth, but the aggressive tone of him telling. It inspired other people to come forward. The way he told and the way he gave up names, I said, holy shit. I cannot be mad at him for not filing that lawsuit. Or as Layla Wills, who called in earlier, said, he was dropped by an attorney. I didn't know the details of those discussions with Layla Wills and other people and lawyers. That wasn't my angle. You know, I'm just interviewing people. I heard a politician, you know, out there talking about, I'm not going to stop until this man's arrested. And then doing interviews, I'm suing Bambaataa. I said, well, damn, you know, but that wasn't what he was saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's about the paper. Like, I think it's more about just the overall attention that Cassie has received from not only the hip hop community, but from the entire the entire world, you know, and he maybe has feel that he hasn't gained that attention for what he has been through from one of the founding fathers of hip hop. You know what I mean? This
Good point.
culture.
Good point.
So, I mean, at some point, I think he should just go after the bag. Like, I don't know if there's a statute of limitations for this and all, but I mean, if money, which I don't think will make him feel better, but if it's more of the attention that he needs to receive from the entire community, then bring it back to the forefront again. And if that's through a civil suit, then let it take that angle.
Yeah.
And
let me say this, because you just sparked something in my mind here. Hassan, a.k.a. Poppy, if you're out there and if you happen to watch this broadcast, I'm still here for you, man. Don't get it twisted. I do have an idea on how you can file a certain type of lawsuit. If you want some assistance, reach out to me. I emailed you a year or so ago. You didn't respond. That's fine. I even text him. I sent him a text a year and a half ago. He didn't respond. Maybe he's mad at me. I don't know. But there can still be a legal route here, and maybe that will give some type of resolve. The trolling and the other stuff that he's been doing, which I'm not fully in the loop on, I can't speak to that, but you're right, Panna. I think that the support Cassie has been getting got to him. Go ahead and finish up, sir. Panna.
I just want to touch on the whole Deion Sanders thing.
Yeah.
Look, last year, the team went 1-11 or 1-10. I'm talking about Colorado.
Right.
He started the team out at 4-0. The team already has gained attention from decades ago. But you know, like I said, in the prior years, their record was horrible. So he brought them now back. They got 3 more wins better than last year. Let's give the guy some credit. He brought to the school swag, you know, attention that they haven't received in years. Yeah, they're probably not going to make a bowl this year, but next year, I guarantee they'll probably be better than what they were, and they'll make a bowl. They'll probably go 6-5, 5-6. But things just happen. He needs to tighten up, and I agree with you. Like the whole swag thing on the field by his son. I'm not knocking his son. They were raised in a totally different light from the way other players were raised. But leave that attention off the field. You don't need to show all the flashing and stuff on the field. Let's play football, get these wins, win championships, get to these bowls, this and that. I think he needs to change that in the locker room and such and such. Stop bringing these rappers into the locker room. Like
oh, my
Little
God.
Baby, other. Come on, that's a coon fest. No need for that. That's straight cooning. Leave that out of the locker. Play football and get some wins. Yo, I'm out.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Panna. Salute. I got to Google something because, you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite. But, you know, the Shador Sanders with the watch and Deion, he's always got the what is that, like some type of platinum whistle? I got to Google somebody because, cooning in football goes back a lot of years. I would probably have to talk to left-handed on this right here. Oh, there he is. Maybe I shouldn't say cooning. Let me slow down. Ooh. Anybody ever heard of Billy White Shoes Johnson? Born in 1952. American football player, retired of course, who was a wide receiver and return specialist. 1974 through 1988. Oh, I loved to watch him play when I was a kid in the 70s. And he would do his knees like this whenever he would return a punt. Let me put this in the live chat because you're not going to know who I'm talking about. That was cooning in a sense. Yes, no? Left-handed, are you out there? Florida Boy J, this is before your time. Unless you've seen any type of footage. Yeah, he played with the Oilers, man. Woo! From 1974 until 1980. And then he went up to Montreal. Oh, I didn't know he played with the Falcons. Hold on a second. Damn, from 82 to 87. And then with the Redskins in 1988. He had a stellar career. 3-time Pro Bowler, 75, 70, 77, 83. Damn, 1970s All-Decade Team, NFL 1980s All-Decade Team, NFL 75th Anniversary All-Time Team. Damn. Punt return yard, 3,317. Return touchdowns, 8. Receptions, 337. Anybody really know football from back in the days? What do you remember Billy White Shoes Johnson doing that, doing his knees like that when he would return a punt? So maybe the cooning thing with Shador, maybe it's just what it is and we have to accept it. I don't know. Blade, I got your email. What are you saying, Blade? Nigga, I'm accusing you of impersonating a federal agent. And I stand on that. Damn. Nigga left me handcuffed to the radiator, allegedly, and cleaned out. Okay, I'm not going to read that, Blade, unless you have proof. I will say this, though, Blade, on some real shit. Sunday mornings is when you could catch people in the projects. Catch them on the way out, going to the store to get some, whatever, to get some breakfast from partying all night. Niggas is half asleep trying to go to the market, and then you pull up. Hey, come over here. Don't move. Hands against the wall. Spread your legs. Hands on top of your head. Interlock your fingers. Don't look at me. Look at the wall. Catch him half sleeping. Dig in the pockets. Anyway, Bill, I got your donation. And what about Hollywood Henderson? Yeah. Okay, I don't want to go too far back. I just wanted to, mention Billy White Shoes Johnson because he was, one of your earlier, and I hate to say coon. I think he's still alive. I forget. I've got to go back and check. But maybe I'm being too hard on Shador, huh? Let me go to area code 860. Extended show. Good evening. Are you there? We're talking about Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy. Allegedly shot today.
Shall I begin?
Hey, man. What's cracking?
Shall I begin?
Excuse me?
Shall I begin?
Okay, sir, you joined the
Shall I begin?
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Hold on a second. Screenshot.
Hello?
Okay. Nah. You're doing too much with the nonsense. I tried to bring you on. Now you wanna talk. Just get to the topic, man. All that weirdo shit. Area code 240, Hassan Campbell. Shot in the projects allegedly this morning. Are you up to speed?
Yo, peace. How you, Star?
Peace. What's cracking, sir?
I'm all right. Yo, my name is the Blood Diamond. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to take an obtuse angle on this situation. I'm going to say it like this, brother. This is a classic example why it really doesn't pay to stick out your neck for the black nation or for black people, you know what I'm saying? Because we got a brother like Poppy, you know what I'm saying, who came out with his story, you know, sticking his neck out. And all this brother been going through is just attack upon attack upon attack upon attack. You know the amount of courage that it takes for a brother to come out and say that he's been molested? It's mad brothers out here that been through the same situation that Poppy been through that's going to take that secret to the grave because it's so embarrassing of what they went through. So, you know, it's a lot of triggers that could be an effect that makes the brother have a meltdown like this. Right. But my angle that I'm taking it off is that it don't really pay because black people, we got a habit of not protecting and standing behind our leaders or people who stand behind us. Malcolm X got popped in front of his daughter and his wife. Martin Luther King got popped in his head on the roof. Clarence 13X, Father Allah from the 5 Percenters, got shot 7 times in his mom's basement on Friday the 13th. And he did it in a way to send a message because, you know, in the God's numerology, 7 stand for God. He said he was God, and he's Clarence 13X. They shot him on Friday the 13th. Right. No payback, no get back for none of these brothers. Right. All Poppy been doing, you know what I'm saying? Poppy, I don't really think he's a clout chaser because somebody would have already came out of his own neighborhood and said, nah, man, Poppy fronting. You know, he wasn't like that back in the day, but nobody, you notice, nobody from Bronx River said, yo, what Poppy be talking about how he used to get down back in the day is false. He's fronting, he capping. None of that.
Now, hang on a second, sir. I am going to jump in here because I have been sent videos like that of people claiming that he was capping about his past. To be fair, to be objective. But now,
were they from Bronx River?
Yeah. Listen, man. When I broke this story, dog, I had to do research where I recorded everybody behind the scenes, not just the interviews that you heard, and I had to make sure that I was covering myself because I was very cool with the Bronx, with the people in the Bronx around that area and Zulu Nation. This story was heartbreaking, man. I lost a lot of relationships, but yeah, there were people who didn't necessarily co-sign his gangster, but they did put him in Bambaataa's clutches. That I can say. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just noticed that the people that be around him, they look like real thorough brothers, and they don't say anything to the contrary of what he be saying. But that's neither here or there. My point is this, man. It really, for black people, how I'm seeing it in these days and times, it don't really pay to stick out your neck and speak for black people because we don't stand behind our people. You know what I'm saying? Look, if you type up his name on YouTube, it's going to be 1,000 videos of people making funny comments about him, calling him Thyson, Gay Campbell, and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? All this brother ever did was come out and speak his story, and you know try to enlighten people as to what he's been through. And another point, and I'm gonna get off because I know you got people who want to speak too, so I don't want to take too long. Another thing he says that I noticed is that he said he got to give us like the clout or the what do you call it? There's a word for it, the celebrity gossip, in order to reel people in to listen so that he can spill his real message of what he's trying to preach. But a lot of people don't see that. They just look on the face value of what he's saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, man, the brother been through a lot. Instead of us, you know, rallying around him and just trying to offer him support and say, hey, brother, we're here for you. We know you've been through some things. You're probably traumatized of what you've been through. So a lot of things you be off kiltered on some things, but we understand your story. Nah, we want to tear the brother down and burn him to ashes.
Stay with me for a second. Don't rush. Stay with me because you made some good points here. First, any experience with molestation yourself or anybody in your family? Molestation?
No, sir, not me personally, but I know, not in my family, not me, but I know I have associates and friends who have gone through his situation.
I've actually had 3 girlfriends that were molested, and I believed all 3 of them when they were younger. One of the girls, man, I really liked her. This was like maybe in 1988, and I was tweaking one night, and I was gonna split the head of her uncle. You know, did this on some crazy shit. I was gonna hit him with the machete, and she said no. She said I want him alive so that I can show my children who he really is when they're old enough to understand the harshness of the world. And I said, damn. I mean, it that resonated with me. But other than them, I haven't known any males or men to come forward, you know, and admit to being molested. One last thing I wanted to say with regards to what you pointed out about videos, multiple videos of him. You know, after I interviewed him and we kind of somewhat sort of had a few conversations, I used to tell him, or I tried to tell him, how to report his videos on other people's channels. Now, I'm not sure if he did that or if he just felt that it would work more to his advantage to let people post his videos. But as you just said, if you type in his name, there's so many videos. So maybe that was his strategy. You know, it helped get him more subscribers, but ultimately, you know, it has caused a lot of confusion. And I think it has overshadowed the reality of his pain and his torment. I'll let you finish up.
Okay, that's all I got to say for now, brother. I appreciate you, and man, you have a good show, man.
Thank you, sir, and please don't call me brother, but thank you.
Okay, pardon me, but thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you, salute, okay. Good call. Yeah, I remember speaking to him and telling him how to report channels that had his content. And I don't know if he listened. Maybe he said, let them keep the videos up. I don't know. But we are discussing his meltdown. That was a meltdown this morning. If you did not see the video, folks, go to his YouTube channel. I have no problem, pointing people in the direction of his platform. Also, Sam from Uniondale, are you out there? Sam, do you want to call in and talk sports? Sam, I analyze on YouTube. He's in my showrunner section right there. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, this has nothing to do with my show. Carlos, I got your donation. I'm not sure where you're going, Carlos, but you can call in, you can chime in. Hang on a second. Okay. Someone says Hassan Campbell did indeed get shot. Again, okay, someone else confirming police scanner. Audio. Deeds, are you still around? Anything on Hassan Campbell's channel with regards to an update? Deeds, okay. Cam, I got your donation. He says Poppy has trauma. Calling in from 914. Sorry for the delay. Where is 914? And thank you for your patience. Is this Cam on a Sunday night? Cam, 914. Yes, no, maybe? Cam?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little far away.
Right,
Can you come closer, Cam? I can hear you.
All right, hold on. Let me
give me a second. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. How are you, man? Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Where do you want to start?
Definitely want to start from the Poppy situation.
Okay.
I definitely saw Poppy going off on live, and honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, honestly, I saw it from Zip with the Drip. I don't know if you know what Zip with the Drip.
Yeah, I don't know him. I never met him, but yeah, I know who Zip with the Drip is. He's popping. Absolutely. Come on.
Right. So I saw it from his thing, and I know they have their little thing going on. So I saw it. I was like, let me just see it from, the whole thing going on. And I seen it, and I was like, at first I was like, yo, this is funny, whatever the case is. And I seen the whole live, and I was like, yo, this guy's suffering from trauma. Because I know his whole, I know Poppy's whole background or whatever the case is. And I'm like, this is crazy because you see the bottles and everything going off with Poppy. And I'm like, this is crazy. And at first I was like, I thought it was something where he had like beef with somebody from the projects. And as I'm listening, I'm like, yo, this is coming from the whole Cassie situation. I'm like, yo, why is he chiming in? And I'm thinking about, his trauma. And I'm like, all right, I see where he's coming from. But
sir, are you some type of counselor? I got your donation here. You said he's suffering from trauma. What is your knowledge in that area?
Well, I work with
Well, I teach.
Okay.
And I work with kids. You know,
okay.
I don't want to go too much into it, but I work with kids, and I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see where he's coming from that perspective, and I understand where he's coming from with that. But I just feel like the way he went about it was, you know, and let me not just say the way he went about it, because it's trauma. You can't really tell people how to go through with their trauma, but
right.
You know, so it was like, I get it, but the way he went about it and the people throwing bottles, you know, projects in the middle of the day, you know, what you expect.
Yeah.
And
are you from the projects yourself, sir? Are you from the projects?
No. But I grew up around the projects, River Park Towers, or they call them RPT. So
yeah.
I know. So when it was,
we have to say he's very, very fortunate. I don't believe in luck. He's fortunate they didn't send shots down from.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna laugh, but he's fortunate because Sunday morning it's like people are waking up out of that slumber. You know, sometimes a hard week, and some niggas down there on that yak or whatever, and yo, stop it, bang bang bang. It can be that easy.
Right.
So go ahead. I just want to say that. Go ahead. He's fortunate.
Right, exactly. You see a couple of people come down like, yo, chill out, Poppy, or, you know, a couple of people talking to him, and he was like, you know, nah, F that, this, that, and the third, and then it's like, yo, and honestly, I think the bottles was just like, yo, get out of here and relax. But for him, it's like, yo, you know, I'm suffering from this. Cassie got all his money, and you guys ain't saying nothing to me. And honestly, this is the other part of it, too, is like, yo, I get it, and I don't know what the specifics are with that particular building or whatever the case is, but it's like I get it, but at the same time, it's like, yo, that's not the area, that's not the spot that you need to do it. Yeah. And I know you're saying he has kids or whatever the case is, but it's like, yo, people are watching you, people listen to you, Poppy. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the way to do it.
Well, hopefully this is, you know, a lesson learned. I've been told that he is, you know, in the hospital suffering. He's not, you know, he's not deceased. So hopefully this will be a lesson learned. Again, I believe him with regards to his story. I gave him, you know, a plaque to show my appreciation for him speaking up. And listen, man, I learned a lot during that period. I had no real experience, man, and I never imagine the amount of grown ass men, fathers and grandfathers that would be reaching out to me, and you know, maybe 4 or 5 of them breaking down crying. I still have 2 interviews that I never put out of men, and one of the guys' wives called me and said, please don't put that out, there's too much going on, this has become just a real circus. You know, let's just move on. So I just wanted to say that with regards to your point about the trauma. Go ahead and finish up.
Right. And I think, like I said, he has a lot of trauma going on, and I get it. And he's trying to put it out there. I don't think it's about the money with him. I think it's just the amount of the exposure. And I feel like he's like, you know how Cassie get all this exposure and all that, and I'm saying all this, and nobody's.
And a quick settlement. Damn, it was quick.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And it's right. Yeah. And it's like, yo, I'm just saying all that. But it's like, yo, Poppy, you don't have the settlement, but you got the platform, and everybody's listening to you, and it's like, keep up with the platform and keep doing what you're doing. And on the other side, you know, I don't know if it's a chess game with him or whatever, but it's like, you got to expose, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you know, the bigger picture is you trying to, you know, you want to make sure that people hear your word and not the clout.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So,
right. Very important. Very important.
So,
hey, I thank you.
Right.
I thank you, and I appreciate the pace that you've been going. And if what grade do you teach without giving us too much information? What grade do you teach?
Middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
I appreciate your patience because it takes patience to deal with young people. Thank you, man. Thank you for your support.
I got something coming to you, too.
Thank you, man.
Star.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay.
Salute.
Salute. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can detect sometimes when someone, you know, their cadence, shall we say, and how they formulate their words, how they execute. He's a teacher. Everybody can't be a teacher. Hey guys, side note, how much do you think Cassie got? Has there been any leaks, any references to Cassie's settlement with Diddy? What does Cassie know? Damn. Did Diddy have Cassie smoking boulders on the booger sugar? Somebody sent me a video with Cassie. Was at a hotel and she was covered up with the blanket near the balcony, and he's talking to her, and she didn't want to take the blanket off. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay, a couple of people say 30 to 50 million. I would say 25 million. He probably agreed to give her 25 with different stipulations and clauses, you know. Break the payments, break them up over the years. If she has some type of 501c3, then she won't have to pay taxes on the payments because she'll have a charity. I mean, it's not just, a lump sum. You get a lump sum, you got to pay taxes. If you're not, set up and situated. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. I would say 25 million is what he gave her. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Sunday night. Let's get to the bullshit. Houston, is that you on a Sunday? Area code 713. Houston.
Nigga, what's popping, my nigga? I don't even know where to start. Cassie, Hassan, or Dion. I don't know where to start, dog. Where do you want me to start?
So let's start with Cassie, Diddy, and Hassan Campbell. Did you see Hassan's video, Houston?
Yeah, I think the nigga wilding out, and I agree with everybody. I don't think I think he traumatized, but the way he's going about it is throwing off, and it seems like he's preying on people's feelings that's actually been through it, and then he's not going about it the right way in order to for other people that went through it or going through it to see it, because 1 minute, like they said, he's shooting up the projects, and then you out there doing reckless. You know what I mean? So
any experience with molestation, Houston? You yourself, your children, your family members, any experience with molestation?
No, I haven't had that experience, and then I'm real, I am about my kids, and everybody know it. They jumped on me about that, but that's another situation, because it's like when you're not in tune with your kids, what are you hiding? Why is it such a...
So what is the right way to go about it? I don't know of a right way. I mean, I'm glad he's okay, and he didn't, get... I'm glad he's okay, but what is the right way to go about expressing your pain and your suffering? You follow me? I can't...
The right way to go... Oh, my bad.
No,
bad.
Come on.
The right way to go about it is stick to the facts and stick to the situation and how you're doing it. You can't go about this the right way, and then the next minute you're talking about shooting and killing everybody. That's frustration. I understand it, because I've never been in that. Nobody people that actually been through it, they're going to look at it like he's sitting up here, he's just trying to get attention, but he's not really actually, and he has a platform to sit up and actually go at the people he's talking about, and then get a GoFundMe in order to get good lawyers and get things done. But he chooses not to do it in a certain way, and the way he's going about it is kind of like he's cloud chasing.
Okay.
And that's like...
I think that's fair, what you just said, because many people have said that he's doing too much, he's cloud chasing. And with all due respect, again, I don't watch his channel like that, because once you start crying, a male crying, I'm like, Nah, this ain't where I want to be.
That's weakness.
Well,
weakness.
I'm not going to say it's weakness. I just, for me, I don't want to see a guy crying for whatever the reason.
Man, what? Dog, you a buck broken. I think when he did that, I think that threw out a lot of things that he was talking about, because when you start crying and doing that, it's like you're playing and preying on the emotions and thoughts of people that actually go through it that don't sit up and cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Then some people do sit up and cry in that situation, and it's kind of like you're making a mockery of it, and then you're doing this just for views.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's going to take you serious. So don't nobody care. Think about everything he's done after that. And he's shooting up the whole project, and then he's up early in the morning. He's pulled a lot of stunts that people like, I don't believe you, nigga.
Right.
I don't believe you. It went from one age to another one, and now you're doing this. It don't seem like you're a victim at a certain point when people listen to you.
That's fair enough.
That makes sense.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Hey man, how's your channel?
Okay.
How's your channel going? I haven't.
Oh man, it's going good.
I haven't gotten your updated banner yet. I keep asking, but go ahead.
Dog, look, man, I'm getting to that. I got all my Mexican kinfolks over here, Viva.
Okay.
I'm like, it's a lot of Mexicans in town. I said, if you stay here too long, goddamn it, I'm going to call ICE. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
They already don't think I'm a full nigga. They trying to call ICE on me. That's another story. But with Cassie, did you see the thing on Slim Thug when he was talking about that?
I saw the thumbnail, but I did not get a chance to watch it. Does he know Cassie? Does he know Diddy? Or is he just giving his opinion, Slim Thug?
Nah, he was just basically giving his opinion. That's how I feel like if that was going on all the time, why you didn't come across?
Right.
Like the accusers that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you say nothing then? Why now?
Right. Okay.
You know, because
I didn't watch it, so it wouldn't be fair for me to comment on what Slim Thug said. But I've always appreciated what he brought to the game. I will say that. But Houston, good to talk to you, man.
But look, just before I go, man, appreciate you and salute. And as far as Dion, he's been way over his head because nigga trinklets don't win you games.
That's a whole fact. Thank you, Houston.
He went in there. Yeah, my bad. Hey, salute.
Thank you. Okay. Houston tapping in. Lorna, I got your donation. Thank you so much. There is no true etiquette for pain. I agree. The Afrika Bambaataa story itself changed me. Lorna, in case you never heard me say that. In terms of being a journalist, because here I am interviewing people, and I'll say this again, prior to me interviewing people in 2016, there was only misinformation, gossip, and tea about Afrika Bambaataa. No one had ever come forward. I wasn't interested in the misinformation, the tea, and the all that sort of jazz. And I'm not going to go too far back, but when I first heard about, you know what? I'm not going to go back because that will confuse the point of molestation. But you're right. There is no true etiquette for pain. I don't think there's any true timeline if you have been violated for someone to be able to come forward. I know people always say, "Oh, why'd you wait so long?" Well, a lot of times when people are going through something, they suppress it based upon my experience. Let me Google this again. Jamie X, 2014, for those who never heard of this story. There she is. I'm going to put this in the live chat. And again, thank you, Lorna, for your Cash App. Let me put this story in the live chat because this is a story about a woman confronting a teacher who molested her when she was like 12, 13 years of age. Anybody remember Jamie X from 2014? An administrator at a Alhambra High School. She resigned. Jamie Carrillo. Let me put this in the live chat if anybody wants to do their own little research. Jamie called her at the school. She's talking to her on one phone and then recording herself talking. Jamie was 28 at the time in 2014. She was a mother. Okay, and she was molested when she was 12 by a one-time teacher who then got promoted to an administrator. The point is, we don't know what she was going through or inside or why she suppressed those feelings. She said, and I remember, I haven't watched the video in a while, but she's got children now. Now she's got children. And when she heard that this woman got arrested, and I think she went to jail. When she heard that this woman was a school administrator, it sparked something within her. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, the woman responded, "I regret it." And we heard her. But the point is, she didn't catch flack for why she waited so long. So I just wanted to say that because it always seems that black people are so hard on each other. Yo, why'd you wait so long? There's no timeline, you know. Let me go to area code 646. Good evening, are you there? Sunday night, 646, talking about Poppy, a.k.a. Hassan Campbell. 646. Hello. Yes, good evening.
Oh, shit, I didn't think I was going to get through. Let me turn this TV off.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, I got to say something. You changed my life a long time ago with something that you said about not being a fan to anybody. So I'd just like to tell you that I love you and appreciate you for that. I won't call you my brother.
Okay.
But this is my whole situation. When the whole thing came out with Hassan, I was really rocking with him. I really appreciated everything that he said, everything he did. I was 100% on his side for years. But then it seemed like his subscriber count went up. He started getting these YouTube checks. And it seemed like he kind of veered from off of his target to something completely different.
Okay.
More like what people were saying about him before, like he was just doing things to get into the industry. And it just made it seem like a lot of people that are making fun of him and making fun of his pain were absolutely correct. And quite frankly, like going out there doing all this or whatever the case is, you have to expect to get shot doing stuff like that eventually. Like, and unfortunately, even though I feel bad for what happened to him, honestly, at this point, it seems like one of those people that go out and they do things because it's like he's not accepting the help. He's made all this money that he claims he makes from YouTube. Right. He's not seeking the help. It's like he's going out there saying he wants to die, and he's like when someone goes out, they do crazy shit because they want the cops to shoot him. So to me, it's like he's just going out there looking to die.
Yeah. Death by suicide.
It's unfortunate.
The cops, yeah.
Exactly. Good. That's what it seems like. Like he's in so much pain. He refuses to do the right thing. He just wants to die. But it's very irresponsible because you got people out there with you, and then it's irresponsible to people that's supposed to be out there with him not checking him. You got a family. They got kids. You got kids. And you out there doing this nonsense, but you're preaching this. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to go out there and commit suicide, then go do it on your own terms. Don't bring other people into it. That's why whenever I've ever had beef, I never told any of my friends about it. I do it by myself because if something happens, I got to go explain to your mother while you're not here.
Right.
So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I might say something that sounds kind of harsh, but I mean, quite frankly, I think everybody out there that went out there that day doing all that nonsense should have got shot. I'm just saying. It sounds harsh, but I'm just saying. I mean, you can't go back to the hood and do shit like that. You just can't.
Okay.
Like no one cares about you. No one owes you anything. Whatever happened with Cassie and Diddy are a totally different story. Like first of all, it's a female. They're in the public eye. Diddy's like what, almost a billionaire, if not a billionaire. It's different levels. It's not the same thing.
Okay, back to the topic of Hassan Campbell, a.k.a. Poppy, allegedly being shot today up in the Bronx River Houses. That's a project area in the Bronx, New York, okay? It looked like he was pulling an all-nighter. I don't know if he was on anything. I'm not going to try and put that on him. He's dealing with pain, with torment. This I know to be true, having interviewed him back in 2016, having spoken to him on multiple occasions, gave him an award. I did, a plaque, because of his braveness. And he was the guy who encouraged other people to come forward, along with other people, you know. And the Zulu Nation, in case you don't know, apologized. And they made a statement, a lengthy statement. You can go to Hip Hop on Trial on YouTube, go to the community section, download Zulu Nation's apology. Okay, so it's not just, you know, me saying he was molested. They agreed, they apologized, and where he's at now mentally, I don't know. I haven't spoken to Hassan in, maybe 2.5 years. I don't remember. It's been that long. And again, I reached out via email, text message a while back. He never responded, you know. Has he been doing too much on social media? Is he no longer a credible source? I don't know. BJ, got your donation. Thank you for tapping in. Okay. Well, Jessica Reed is suing Charlemagne. She is. There's an active lawsuit right now. It's been going on for a couple of months. I don't speak to Jessica that often. I mean, I broke that story as well, just like the Afrika Bambaataa story. But I have parameters when it comes to people that I interview. I don't make it a personal relationship. Because, you know, it doesn't help the story. I need to look at things objectively. I need to take in other evidence, do research, and maybe readdress a story, you know, that I quarterbacked or that I assisted with. So, but thank you for your donation. All right. Is it Dividend Todd? Did I say that right? Hassan got his snot box rocked and TV almost turned off. Okay. You're welcome to call in. Isn't that one of his lines? I think I've heard that over the years. Something that he says to that nature. Let's go to area code 727. Good evening. Are you there? Sunday night, talking about the Hassan Campbell video. Are you up to speed? 727. Yes, no, maybe. 727.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yo. What up, Star, man? Been a fucking fan for the longest.
All right, so you've got to watch the language off the rip. This isn't that place we just call in, start cursing. Slow down.
Nah, my bad. You caught me off the rip. My bad. But yeah, man. I'll start by saying I'm a fan, man. I grew up in Scotts Plainfield area.
Thank you, man. You got nothing to say. I got no fans, man. Get out of here with that goofy stuff, man. And why does this person keep calling? Somebody who just had such an issue with me a while back, and you keep calling, huh? Is this 209? Is this who I think it is? Area code 209, late night. Calling it from California.
My caller 97. And my caller 97.
Now, you have to scream louder, Randy. It's cracking, man.
Yo, I just want to say,
come on.
I know we being sensitive because it's a sensitive topic, but I ended it last show by telling you the pussy burst is expanding.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on.
We witnessed a grown man having a manic episode outside of the project, being a hypocrite because he makes fun of. He actually monetizes off of the death of tragic events like Wallow's son, Gilly's son, not bad.
Gilly's son.
You're saying, why are people in the hood? Why is he in the hood where niggas could throw bottles at him? Where the Savages is watching football early in the morning, smoking their morning blunt, playing video games, their 2K, and he's outside having a manic episode like a nut, trying to get his TV turned off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Come on.
Even though it is a sensitive topic, there's an old saying: when you go looking for trouble, it will find you.
Mm-hmm.
And he got what he was looking for. Why is he brandishing a knife among savages?
Right. I saw that.
Talking about, I'll stab your mother. I'll stab your mother. That might have been cool, like in the 90s. Old head going crazy like that, talking about what he got and what he's gonna do and all this nonsense. But the young nigga is not gonna say much when he pulls up to you and he makes you feel that burning sensation of a bullet. Ah, it burns. Ah, in the backseat of a car. Get me to a hospital.
Yeah. Now, hang on a second, because, again, I don't watch him like that because I do believe he's damaged and going through things. So has the beefing, the clout chasing with other YouTubers, has that reached a point where people just, they look at him and they say,
as a goofy. They look at him as a goofy clout chaser.
Okay.
And he's not credible because at the end of the day, you was a young man getting fondled, but yet you was a so-called proclaimed menace to your society. He said he was the shooter. So how is the shooter getting fondled? I just don't understand. And then I can...
Well, now hang on a second, because that world in the quote-unquote hood is very complex. I've heard and I've seen things. Hang on. I've heard and I've seen things firsthand that, the average person wouldn't even believe. But now, with regards to him and these claims of being a shooter, I've heard him say that, years ago. He may have been a misguided adolescent, but there's a difference between being a shooter in your 20s and in your 30s, and controlling blocks and being a kingpin of sorts. So I'm not clear on that timeline with him. Is he saying he was a shooter in his 20s, his 30s, or was he like a teenager? Because when you're a teenager,
I believe he'll say that he was a.
When you're a teenager,
he had
most males are just misguided adolescents. Misguided adolescents. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give a point of view that nobody's talked. I feel that.
Go ahead.
The fact that Cassie got compensated for her trauma and he gets laughed at for his was the breaking point today. And the fact that...
We actually spoke about that earlier. Go ahead.
Okay. So that had been the turning point, because niggas laugh at him as a grown man. But yet this young girl was 19 and she may have taken part and she knows where the skeletons are buried and she knows the dark secrets and she was going to monetize off of it. But a man like him, hip-hop, closed the door and turned their back on him. Every time he goes at it with a male, they bring up that he was fondled as a young teenager, instead of understanding his trauma, that most males in the hood, some of them go touched, and like one of the other callers say, they die with that because it's embarrassing to open up and speak about that in that culture. Niggas will tell you like, oh, that was your boyfriend.
But now, hang on a second, Randy. Let's be real, as I know you can be. I appreciate your commentary from time to time. Let's be objective here. Has he done too much trolling to the point where, again, people just say, nah, I'm tired of you? Cassie, to my knowledge, has never said anything. She just popped up with a lawsuit and, whoa, we were all off balance, and then it was settled in less than 24 hours. So going back to Hassan, has he done too much over the years since being interviewed by Star and coming out prior to the interview with Star? Has he just done too much on social media?
And as many people fall victim to the urban community, they do too much and they trick themselves out of the bag. He almost tricked himself out of his position of living today for being a unstable, emotional male in today's society, not knowing that there's a different breed of savages out here that'll just put you to sleep because, nigga, you being too loud. I'm trying to go get a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese, and y'all here yelling, doing too much on the phone. Now I gotta turn your TV off because you just annoying right now.
Oh, shit.
That's why I give it up to the young niggas that keep a bottle next to their window for a nut like that. Yo, quiet down. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah. Niggas been doing that since the 70s, keeping bottles by the windows. I've seen that back in 1977 when I was when I was a younger man. We went to see some relatives. I'm not going to say exactly where, but in the projects in the Bronx. And they have bottles, and we went up on the roof to do some, I forget what we were doing. One of the kids, he had a slingshot and some marbles, and I'm watching and I'm observing it, and he starts shooting the marbles. We were like on the 12th floor, shooting marbles at people on the basketball court. So, whoa. I'm rambling. Come on, Randy.
Yeah,
I'm rambling. Come on.
Nah. He's lucky that he could live to tell his story, and he just got a wound. If that did happen, because there was a report that around that time, someone was, a victim.
Right.
So I hope the old nigga gets some sense before something else could happen to him, because he's playing with fire right now.
Okay.
Talking about he has an army.
Yeah.
What army, nigga? He was in that car with another bozo.
Randy, good to talk to you, man. Salute. Good to talk to you, Randy.
Stay up, man. Keep a bottle next to your window of those skyscrapers.
Okay. Randy tapping in.